Okay. Now I will explain the procedure for automating delta or incremental loads. Okay. So first I will go through the process, then I'll explain the procedure, then we'll execute it. Okay. So what is our goal in delta process? So if we are getting a new record from the source, we have to insert it into the target table. So if we are getting an update to the existing record, then we have to make that update in the target table, right? So let's see the process. So to do these inserts or updates, what is the functionality we have in Snowflake? So the merge query. So how the merge query looks like? Okay, it will be something like this. Merge into the target table using the source table, that is the staging table in our case, uh, based on which key I have to join both these tables. Then when matched, that means if we are getting already existing record, that means there is a common record in between these two tables based on the employee ID. So when matched, okay, then update. So if already the record present in the existing, then update it with the change record coming from the stage table. So these are the update columns I have to update. Okay, so this is my key field. These are the update columns. When not matched, that means there is a no common record between these two tables. That means it's a new record coming from the source. In that case, simply insert that new record into this target table with the values of s dot employee ID. S is our source table. Okay, that means if the record does not present in the target table already, then simply insert this record. So this is our goal. So we have to prepare a query like this and execute this query. Okay, so let's see the process how it looks like. Okay, so step one is check if the target table has primary key defined on the table or not. If not, so I told you, right? So if we want to perform delta load, there should be primary key defined on the target table. If it is not there, okay, while running the procedure, check if the table has primary key or not. If it does not have any primary key, then raise one exception saying primary key is not available in the target table, so we cannot proceed with the delta load. Like that, raise one exception. Okay, so this is our first step. And second step is preparing this merge query. So how to prepare this merge query? Okay, so we have to get list of columns of the primary key. So this is important because based on this only we have to join, right? So get the list of primary key columns. In our case only we have single primary column, but there can be a set of columns as part of primary key. In that case, so get all the list of columns of primary key. Okay, then get the list of columns required to form update query. So this is our update query. So if we want to form this query like this, so we have to get the list of fields that are update fields. Okay, like here, as employee ID is my key, so it will not present in the update. So all other columns in the table are part of my update query. Okay, then third step is get the list of columns and values required to form insert query. Now we have to form this query, right? Insert query. So here what we need, the list of columns, okay, for the insert query, also list of the values to be inserted into the table. Okay, so if you see, I'm getting this information, I'm getting this information, and I'm getting this information, then I can form a query. So these are uh, common, right? Merge into, using, when, then update, when not matched, these are common across. So our goal is to automate the process, right? So even though we have thousands of tables, with a single stored procedure I can do delta load for all the 1,000 tables. That is our target. So whatever the change part here we are getting, like this will change across tables, right? And this will change across tables. This will change across tables. So what I am saying, get these separately and form a query by concatenating all these things. That will become your merge query and simply execute it. Okay, so that is our last step. Run the merge query to load the data. Okay, now let's see how it goes, how we can follow this process. Okay. So before that, this is my data setup I am doing. Okay, so I'm creating a database with the name EMP, and I'm creating four schemas in that: staging for stage tables, HR data for target tables, procs to store all the procedures. This is the place where I'll create all the procedures, and this is my work schema. So if I want to maintain any log tables, control tables, error tables, okay, this is the place where I can store. And if you see here, I'm creating one error logs table. That means in the delta load process, if you face any errors, just log those errors into one table. I'll show you how to do that by using exceptions. Okay, and the structure of my error logs table is procedure name, error type, error code, error message, and SQL state. This is I have already explained while explaining the exception handling part. Okay, I'll explain today again. And I'm creating a table with the name employees in the staging schema, and also I'm creating the same employees table in the HR data schema. Okay, so this is my source table or stage table, and this is my target table. Okay, and I'm inserting some data into this employees table. Okay, later I'll create this procedure. Okay, and then I'll run the procedure. We'll see how it goes. So here if you see I am declaring lot of variables. Okay, before that, so I am creating the procedure with this name SP stored procedure source to target delta load, and I have two arguments here, the source table and the target table. Okay, and I'm declaring lot of variable here. So primary key count, target database name, target schema name, target table name. Okay, our join keys, update columns, insert values, merge statement. So whatever I have explained here. Okay, here. So what are the things required? Target database name, target schema name, target table name. Okay, list of key fields, list of update fields. Okay, list of insert fields and values, and finally a merge query. Okay, so I'm declaring all these as variables here. Okay, and if you see primary key count, so what is our first step? Check if the target table has primary key defined on the table or not. So we have to get the primary key count. If it is 0, that means there is no primary key defined on the table. In that case, just raise one exception. So that is our first step. So I'm declaring one exception variable. So no keys with the name no keys found, and the exception definition is okay. This is the code I already told, right? For user defined exceptions, the error code should be between this. Okay, and what is the error message? As there are no primary key present in the target table, delta load cannot be done. I told this already. Okay, and here source table and target table are fully qualified table names. So whatever the arguments we are passing to this procedure, so they are fully qualified table names. Okay. Now get list of primary keys into a temporary table. Okay. This will be here. Okay, so now see what I am doing. So I have to get target DB name, target schema name, target table name. How I am getting that? So here we are passing target table, right? But this is a fully qualified table name. That means it looks like this. From this I want to extract a database name, schema name, table name. So for that what I am saying, I am using a split part function. So what this split part will do? So based on one delimiter, so it will split the string into multiple parts. Suppose here our delimiter is dot, right? So it will, so whenever I say delimiter dot, then it will divide whatever the string. So here if you see target table, right? So what is the target table? It is a fully qualified table name. That means it is something like this. Now by using this delimiter, I am splitting it into three parts. First part, second part, and third part. So first part is my database, second part is my schema name, and third part is my table name. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay. So I'm splitting it into three parts and getting all the three parts into database, schema, and table names. Okay. And so where I want to perform this all operations in the target database in the target schema. For that I am writing two commands here. Okay, use database identifier of target database name. So whatever we are passing here, so use the database and use schema. So in which schema you want to run this procedure? Okay, so that schema which is coming from the as input. Okay, then, so get list of primary keys into a temporary table. So how to do this? So we have a command like show primary keys in identifier of target table. Okay, so what is our target table? So whatever we are passing as an argument to this procedure. So this command, what it will do, it will get the list of primary keys, list of columns, those are part of primary key into uh, it will just fetch. Okay, here I am not storing anything. Okay, I'm just fetching the primary keys from the target table, and then I'm storing that result into a temporary table. So here this will just display the primary keys present in the table. I'll show you while executing this. Okay, and then uh, so how can I store the result of your previous query? So by using like this, select the list of fields from table of result scan of last query ID. So what is the last query it has executed? This is the query. So from this query, uh, from the just do a result scan and get the results and store it into a temporary table. So I hope you are understanding what I am doing here. Okay, so I am fetching the primary keys of the target table. Okay, by using this result scan of last query ID, I am fetching the results of this query. That means whatever the list of primary key fields we are fetching, just I am storing it into a temporary table. Okay, so the results of this key are like column name and key sequence. Okay, so I am storing both of them. So column name is key sequence is nothing but 1 2 3 like that. Suppose if I have 3 columns as part of my primary key, then so they will be in some order, right? That is called key sequence. I'll show you this part, okay, later. Okay, and then so make sure the target table has primary key. If not, raise one exception. So why we are doing all this part? So you have to make sure the target table has primary key defined on it, right? So finally I'm saying if so I'm selecting a count. Make sure the target table has primary key. Select count of star count of 1 from this temporary table into a variable called pk count, primary key count. That means so if it has at least one key, then the number of rows in this temporary table will be 1. If it has 2, then the count will be 2. So if it has no primary key, then the count will be 0. Okay, so that is what we have to get, right? If primary key count is 0, then raise this exception, no keys found. So what is no keys found? So this is the one, raise this exception. Okay, I hope you understand this block. Okay, I'm just checking this first step here in this block of code. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now let's go for the other queries. Okay, now prepare join keys for the merge. So I told you, right, in our process, so get the list of columns of primary key. Now we have to get those columns. So how to get? So the list of the primary key columns are available in this temporary table. So from this temporary, select from this temporary table what I am doing. So list tag. So I already told, if you want to get a list of columns or a list of something, and if you want to separate by using something like dot or comma like that, in that case we can use this list aggregate function. So I have list of key fields, right? Now I want to separate them. I want to concatenate them. So how I am concatenating, just observe. So I am hard coding this target dot, okay, I am concatenating column name, okay, concatenate equals to source dot column name. So don't confuse this, and I am concatenating and. So why I am preparing like this? Okay, so let's go to our merge query. So how it is look like? So t dot employee name equals to s dot employee name. That's what I am trying to fetch here. So t is nothing but our target, right? Target dot column name equals to source dot column name. And if you see, there is a one and at, okay, here. So if we have more columns, right? Sorry, and okay, t dot column name equals to s dot column name. So this end is present here. If I have more than one primary key, more than one key as part of my primary key, so then I have to fetch like this, right? So this is the statement I am preparing here in this SQL statement. So what this list tag will do? So if you have more keys as part of primary key, it will prepare a statement like this. So that is the use of list aggregate here. Okay. So I hope you are understanding. I am fetching the list of primary keys, the list of keys as part of the primary key, and making a statement like this. Okay. The next one is prepare update columns for merge. Okay. So if you want to perform merge, you need to prepare a statement like this, right? Update statement. Okay. Now I want to fetch the list of update columns in this format. Okay. So how I am doing this? Just check. Okay. Select from information schema dot columns. I already told you. So where can I get list of fields? Okay, if I need to get list of fields of a table, from where I can get? So we have information schema dot columns, a view with this name. So from this I can get the list of columns of that table or view, right? So I'm selecting from this view where table catalog equals to our target database name, table schema is our target schema name, and table name is equals to our table name. Okay, and column name not in. Okay, this column name should not be present in the select column name from temp primary key. That means whatever the columns I am fetching should not be present in the part of primary key. So if you see here our merge query, so these are the list of columns, and my update column should not be part of this key field. That's what I am making sure. Okay, so if you see, I'm fetching the list of columns from this table which are not part of primary key. So that is the goal of this statement. Also I'm doing same whatever I did like this, target dot column name equals to source dot column name. Here instead of and I'm saying comma, because we need comma here, right? If you see, we need comma at the end. In case of key fields, we need end. In case of update fields, we have to put a comma like this. Okay. So by using list tag, I am preparing this function. Okay. So hope you are clear with how I am fetching this update column list. Then in the same way, I am fetching the insert column list as well. And also I have to fetch the list of values to be inserted. Okay. So this is the list of columns present in this table, and this is the list of values should be loaded into that table. Okay. So I am preparing a statement for that. Prepare insert columns and values list for the merge statement. Okay. Same way. So here including primary key, I have to get all the field names. That's why I'm not putting this condition. This is not required because this is part of employee ID, which is key field, is part of my insert statement as well. Okay. In the same way, I'm fetching. Okay, list aggregate column name. Okay, list aggregate source dot column name like this. So there are two fields here. Okay, two. This is one field. Okay, that means this part. So this part is one. Okay, and this part is 2. That means I have to fetch two fields. So if you see list tag of column name, so you forget about this within group order by ordinal position. So this is the syntax of list tag. So if you want more details, you can check in the Snowflake documentation what list tag will do exactly. Okay, and this is one field, so this will fetch the list of columns to be inserted, and this is list of values. So where my what is the source for this values? It should be s dot, that means source table. Okay, so that's what I am mentioning here, source dot column name, and by using a comma you separate all the fields, because if you see here also we are separating all the fields by comma. Okay, so by using this statement I am fetching the list of um, fields required for our insert statement. Now I have everything here. So list of primary keys I have, list of update fields with the update statement I have, with the list of insert fields and insert values. I have everything here. Now I have to concatenate all this and form my merge statement. So my merge statement looks like, so merge into. So I told you, right? So we can simply concatenate these common words. Merge into. So this you can get from the arguments using, okay, again this you can get from the arguments on. Okay, this we have already in a one statement. So I'm merging all these pieces. Okay, merge into the target table name as target. Okay, so if you see here, so as T I can say right here, that's what I am doing. Okay, so this is alias name, you can mention with or without as. Okay, but I'm using as target, using the source table name as source on. So list of join keys, when matched then update. Okay, so when matched then update. Okay, set this fields, this part we already have in one variable. Okay, so what is that variable? Update columns. When not, when not matched, then insert. So when not matched, then insert. Then we have this in one field. Okay, so insert columns. Values of, so here if you see values of, and this part we have in one variable again. So what is that variable? Insert values. I'm just concatenating all the pieces and forming the merge query. Okay, so finally I got my merge statement, and I'm executing this merge statement by using the execute immediate command. Okay, so what this will do, it will execute whatever the merge query we have formed, and it will perform the data load. That means if the record is new record, it will insert. If we are getting an update to the existing record, it will update. Okay, so I'm returning a message, delta load successfully completed. Suppose in case of any exception, that means if we are getting any error, it can be a syntax error or data error, whatever it is. So I'm handling that in my exception block. So how I am handling it? Okay, if it is a statement error, I told you what is meant by statement error, what is meant by expression error, so what is meant by other error while explaining the exception handling part. Okay, and this is my user defined uh, exception. Okay, so I am mentioning all the three types of exception here. Statement error. Okay, in case of statement error, what you have to do, just insert into this table, okay, the procedure name, the error type, error code. So where we can get these values for this? So this variable, system variable, will hold the SQL code, the error code. This will hold the, in case of any, suppose this statement itself failed. So when the statement fails, there will be three variables, three system variables will be holding the details of the error. So these are the three variables. Okay. So when the statement comes fails, okay, directly the control will come to the exception block. It will not execute these statements. It will come to the exception block. That means it will come here. So what this will do? It will insert these error details into a table called SP error logs. Okay, so we have created right one table. So in the previous step, we have created one SP error logs table, right? So it will insert the values into the table. Okay, so all the three are same statement except this error type. So in case of this statement failure, so the error type is statement error. In case of no keys found, then it is user defined exceptions. So whatever the error message we have defined here, this error code will come, and this error message will come. Okay, and if we have any other than statement errors and user defined errors, they will be logged into this error logs table with other error. Okay, so this is clear. I hope this is clear. It is very simple. Just you have to follow this process. Okay. So you may not be implementing this procedure as it is in your project, but this is you can take this as reference, and you can form your merge statement. Okay. But this is very useful. I'm saying again and again. If you want to automate huge number of tables, uh, if you want to automate incremental load for huge number of tables, this is very useful. Okay, so now let's execute this. So I'm setting up the required database schema, tables, and the data. Okay, and then I will create the procedure and execute it. Okay, so this is my procedure. I am executing this statement. So my procedure has been successfully created, and so initially if you check, okay, So how many records are there in the stage table? Let's check. Okay, so we have inserted some 107 records. So I have 107 records, and initially my target table there is no data. Okay, 0 records. Now I am calling this delta load procedure. So initially there will be only insert records, there will be no updates because our target table does not have any data. Okay, so data load successfully completed. Now check this, how many records are there in this table. Okay, in the target table, so in the target table we have 107 records loaded. Okay, if you want to verify the data, you can run this. Okay, and so you can see all the 107 records, and there are no errors encountered, right? So this table will have no records for now. If there are any errors, then only the error details will be inserted into this error logs table. Okay, now what I'm saying, now delete data from staging table and insert two true records. So whenever we are ingesting the data by using copy command or snowpipe, so stage table will be truncated and loaded, right? So that's what I'm saying here. So truncate this staging table and insert two new records. Okay, so out of those two records, one record is a new record and one record is an update to the existing record. Okay, so I'm deleting this data from this table. Okay, and this is a new record. So if you look at the data we have prepared, right, there is no 300 at all. So employee ID 300 is not there. So we have employee IDs from 100 to somewhere 206 we have. Okay. So what I'm saying here, insert a new record. Sorry. Insert a new record with the employee ID 300, and these are the values, corresponding values, like the first name, last name, salary, phone number, everything. Okay, so just run this statement, one record will be inserted, and insert one more record that is already present in the uh, target table. So in the target table, so if you want to check, so just to check this command target, I am just selecting the data from this employees table where employee ID in 100 and 300. So before executing the delta load, I'm just checking. So 100 we have already, but here if you see the salary is 24,000, and here I'm saying salary of 30,000. So that means the record is already present in the target table, but I'm inserting a record with update, the same record with some updated information. So I'm updating the salary here. Okay, so let's insert this record. Now select the data in the staging table, this table. So we haven't loaded, right? We haven't triggered this. That's why still we have only this 100 record with the salary of 24,000. Now my data input data is ready in the staging table. Now I will do a delta load from staging to target table. Okay. So here what is my source table? Staging dot employees. What is my target table? HR data dot employees. So run this command. Okay, so data load successfully completed. Now how many records should my target table should contain? So we already had 107 records, and I have inserted one new record and one updated record. Okay, so update will directly update. So we have only one extra record, right? So our table should contain 107 plus one record. So 108 records. Okay, so it has 108. Now check the data for this two employees, 100 and 300. Okay, so 300, this record was inserted, and if you see for 100, earlier the salary was 24,000. Now it's got updated to 30,000. That means our merge statement is working perfectly. It is inserting the new records, okay, and it is updating the existing records if we are getting any change from source. Okay. So this is about the procedure for automating delta loads, and just to follow this procedure, so you can build this store procedure on your own. Okay, I hope you understood. If not, try to watch one more time and try to practice these queries. Okay, you can easily understand. Okay, thank you.